Episode 348.
We have got a shop manager, so I'm stepping away and letting the team do the jobs, and I will chime in without trying to micromanage the company whenever they look like they need help. So we're letting them fail and learn how to operate the business.
Welcome, aftermarketers, to Remarkable Results Radio. Listen to learn just one thing from today's episode on your journey to remarkable results. Hey, welcome to the Remarkable Results Radio podcast. Carm Capriato here. Now, if you're growing, changing, or investing in your business, this is the resource you need on everything auto care. Over 400 collective episodes between Remarkable Results Radio and the Town Hall Academy that help you solve your pain points. Welcome to episode 348 with Vinnie and Anthony Lucido from CoAuto in Reno, Nevada. Hey, if you're staying current with your AMI or working toward your professional designation, go to remarkableresults.biz/AMI and see how listening to the Academy episodes can earn you AMI elective credits. This episode is presented by Federal Mogul Motor Parts, and they are the reason you enjoy these great aftermarket interviews. When you need to search for parts, get the latest technical updates, or sign up for the Garage Rewards and Tech Loyalty Program to earn great swag, go to fmmotorparts.com. The network of listeners builds in the aftermarket's super learning highway. I'm honored to make so many connections like new Facebook friends Michael Dunn, AJ Neely, Kevin Jones, James Power, and John Baranczyk. And my latest LinkedIn connections, Scott Cisco, James Mitchell, and Dick DeLoach. Get connected. remarkableresults.biz/social. Hey, I'm so glad you're investing in these long-form interviews and discussions. The power of the spoken word is to bring you inspiration and ideas. Here's an interview with Vinnie and Anthony Lucido. They started CoAuto in 2014 in Reno, Nevada. The brothers are both ASE certified, with Anthony holding Master Certification and 15 ASE certs. Some said the partnership may never work because sibling relationships may be volatile at times, but the brothers, they proved naysayers wrong due to their unique approach to business and their personal leadership style. Find additional bio information, the shop profile, and previous episodes with Vinnie and Anthony at remarkableresults.biz/E348. CoAuto, which stands for Community Conscious Car Care, have a lot of things going on with their shop. They are involved, as their name says, deep inside their community. Listen to the brothers as they share their strategy and vision with you. That includes the veteran car giveaway every year, local art displayed in the waiting room, the high school internship program, and being partnered with Arbor Day Foundation that has a tree planted with every oil service. Also, women's car care clinics are a staple at CoAuto. They have a solid culture, and the brothers learned how to step back from the business. Let the employees lead. They've worked hard not to micromanage the company. They've also created an inviting feeling for anyone that walks in the shop by strategically placing murals when you walk in. Wow, another cool idea. The brothers love serving their community and making relationships within the community their number one goal. They say when the customer knows you, they trust you. They've got some great advice to give you. Enjoy the power of the spoken word. Welcome to episode 348. Hey, a warm welcome to brothers Vinnie and Anthony Lucido. Hi, guys.
Hi, Carm.
Hello, Carm.
Partners in CoAuto, Reno, Nevada. I met you guys at Vision 2018. You gave me this beautiful brochure, and I'm just curious, what's CoAuto mean?
CoAuto. So Co within CoAuto stands for community conscious. So we are community conscious car care.
Got it. And how do you relate that, guys, to your community? I mean, is it something, does it give you a great opportunity to talk to your customers about what the name means?
Yeah, it sure does. We relate that all the time with every new client that comes in. We share with them the programs that we do, and those programs all relate within our community somehow or another, as well as Anthony and I also working within our community through programs like Toastmasters and the Rotary Club, that type of thing. Just always trying to be involved with our community. That's what's carrying our business. So we want to just continue on making and building relationships.
So, Anthony, 4 years ago, you guys decided to partner. Interesting. Brothers, partners. Ooh, volatile. Yes? No? You guys just like one togetherness?
Well, we work really well together. When Vinnie had approached me 4 years ago about going into business, I always said I'd never go into business with my brother. And after he had been practicing a lot of yoga, becoming a yoga instructor, I'd seen a different part of my brother that I hadn't seen before. And I said, I can go into business with him.
That's a great story. I want to share with the audience that you guys were with me in a Town Hall Academy episode 63 on making partnerships work. And it was great, by the way. There's so much to learn from that. We did that back in April 2018. And wow. So I think what Anthony just said to you, Vinnie, is you changed. Very, very interesting.
They say people don't change, but in fact, it was just my mentality towards my life goals that had changed. Through that yoga teacher training, I had written down short-term goals, long-term goals. And with that, I was about to give up automotive completely. I was on the fence. I thought, I'm just going to start teaching yoga again, go back to the things that I truly am super passionate about, which is guiding people out of their elements, whether that's whitewater raft guiding or snowmobile guiding or yoga. Just teaching yoga brings people out of their elements and away from their comfort zone. So that was my goal. I was going to do that. I was going to step away from automotive. I was going to sell all my tools. I was currently working kind of I don't want to say under the table, but just out of a garage where, I wasn't a legit company. I was just Vinnie, and people would bring their cars to me. And I found what it was that I was missing wasn't the aspect of, needing to take people out of their elements, but what it was just being around people. So I moved into the idea that I would then open up an automotive shop as opposed to closing down what I had. I thought, if I went in partnership with my brother, the best technician I know, a brilliant mind, then we could really have something there. And it was through my goals that I had written down. My 10-year goal was to have a shop that operated on its own. And then I changed that down to my 5-year goal. So my 5-year goal was then to create a shop with Anthony that would sustain itself, and I would no longer need to be in the everyday operations of that. Here we are 4 years later, and we're almost there.
That's an ambitious goal. There are people that 10, 15 years aren't realizing that.
True. It was through the yoga teacher training that I realized, I'm not going to be able to make all my goals happen. One of my goals was to open a yoga retreat in Belize in 5 years. And I thought to myself, there's no way I can do that by teaching yoga or guiding whitewater kayaking tours. Like, I had to have a career. I had to have something that actually made me money. And that was always and always has been working on vehicles and falling back. It's kind of my fallback. I'll fall back to automotive repair when I need to get some more cash or more cash flow. And then having established this small operation, Anthony was able to step in. He left his job, one of the highest paid techs in Reno, left his position to come into business with me, which blew my mind because, like you said, he never thought he'd go into business with me again. And not that we had failures or anything, but we started a lawn mowing service together, yard cleanup. So we ran that business. We ran an operation up in North Idaho. We were a painting contracting business, and we always worked well together. But our niche was automotive repair. And Anthony stepped on board, and we came up with the plan to open CoAuto. And maybe Anthony can share with you a little bit of what CoAuto was going to be before it was actually a full service auto repair shop.
You want to come in and work on your vehicle, save on the hourly rate, you can come into CoAuto. We have a cooperative garage. That was our first plan, was a garage where, Carm, you could come in, pay a discounted labor rate, use our tools, have access to the lifts, to the technicians. We would also be working on cars, but allowing somebody to come in at a discounted rate. Now we went to management success, and they said that would not work. And once we got our quote for our insurance policy, we decided that was not going to work.
That to me would have just, don't even tell me how much, but I can't imagine. OMG. Yeah. But you need ideas like this, guys. Sometimes they need to be so far off, crazy ideas for you to come back to something that you can really bite on. And so was it after the, if you will, quote unquote, DIY labor type thing, or renting and sharing, did you finally keep CoAuto and then build it to what it is today?
Yeah, absolutely. We just morphed that into the community conscious car care that it is today, and just work directly with consumer cars. We've done women's car care clinics and different things to reach out into the community, but it's morphed into a full-time retail repair facility.
I'm talking to Bud Houston, a technical product specialist with Federal Mogul Motor Parts. Hey, Bud, what's the best thing about the Guru on the Go van?
Yeah, I think that the best thing about the van and the kind of the mission is it's twofold. One is ultimately to bring brand awareness of the Federal Mogul portfolio, but I think the way that we do that is we bring value to the technician, the shop owner. And how we do that is we bring technical content, we bring some updated material, and once they see that I care about their operation, their reputation, and their qualifications, one, they're built up, but two, they really, at that point, listen to what I have to say about the brands, and it's built, the relationship is built on a mutual benefit. So
you bring technical stuff, and you bring product specific.
Yeah, me personally, I'm super technical background. So anytime I'm doing a lunch and learn or a van visit, training session, it's typically 90% technical, 10% product.
Any new Moog products that are getting good reviews?
Yeah, one that's recently released is the Dodge Ram 25 and 3500 complete steering assembly. It's inner and outer tie rod ends and drag link pre-assembled. This is the first aftermarket part that's available in a complete assembly for this application. And the specific applications, late model Dodge Rams, are actually a kind of a high failure part on the chassis parts.
What about the compression loaded ball joints with pre-installed integral dust boot?
Yeah, the integral dust boot has been a huge hit. Initially, the idea was well, where is the boot? And then once you kind of get around and show people, they're like, well, that is the best idea I've ever seen, because I've torn so many boots on installation, or I've had a boot that's not seated properly. And they're like, well, that's just not an issue now. And they love it.
Federal Mogul Motor Parts' Garage Gurus is your go-to source for the vehicle training, technology, and answers you need to keep your next job on track. On site, online, or on demand, the Gurus are here to help keep your business and your career on the road to success. Visit fmgarageguru.com. Are you the lead tech, Anthony, or are you working the business with? I mean, obviously you're both working, but your role in the business.
My role, I'm stepping away from the business and not taking that role of lead tech. I've got a ASE Master Tech that he's been with us for about 3 years. He's the lead tech. We've got someone that has been promoted into the shop foreman position. We have got a shop manager. So I'm stepping away and letting the team do the jobs, and I will chime in without trying to micromanage the company whenever they look like they need help. So we're letting them fail and learn how to operate the business.
I love what you just said. It makes total sense. Vinnie, you're basically saying, hey, listen, this thing has got to start running on our own in 5 years. You're in year 4. Anthony, when you heard Vinnie tell you this, did that start the engine rolling for you to make the moves you're making now?
Yes, and it's one of the hardest things, I think, as a business owner to do. I remember it was about a year and a half into the business, and we weren't on the front counter, and Vinnie and I are looking at each other in the back garage. We're like, this is really weird because we're not in control. We're not selling the job. And it was that was the first moment of letting go of control. And we know with our 5-year goal that we need to let go of control and build the best processes and the best shops. So that way our team can rise to the occasion and manage our business.
Are you going to miss diagnostics and turning wrenches, or are you just going to be kind of hovering to help?
I do miss it. I mean, I'm one of those techs that just, I knew how to fix things with my head underneath the hood. And now I'm learning how to fix things as a business owner, which is a whole new challenge. And it's a lot of fun and challenging at that. But I'll always miss working on cars. I'd love to get my head in the game and turn some wrenches and show the guys, how I like to do it. But it's something that I'm passing on to the guys.
I need to know your motivation. What really drove you? Was it Vinnie pushing you in this direction, or you so firmly believe in the 5-year plan that your clock inside started to churn and move? Because not many people can make those big, bold, strong moves.
The last gentleman that I worked for is a fabulous technician, an old school guy. I learned so much. I always said he was my last mentor before moving into my own business. But I'd seen him working for 25 years, 5 days a week, struggling and looking at his operation. It always felt like he had to have control. And so what I've learned from that is that I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be in a garage. It's a dirty environment. I want to get out and move into the next stage, the next portion of my life. And that is not going to be inside the garage. So in order to do that, I know I need to step away.
Got it. Wow, very powerful words. I want people to go back and really realize what Anthony said. You pulled your juice, if you will, from having watched a former owner kill himself almost. You were working dozen-hour days. You go home, you have a meal, you sleep, you get up, and you do the same thing again. And wouldn't it be cool, like you say, I can watch what's going on. I can be part of it, but not have that. Yeah, you have stress, but not have that instantaneous stress that happens with the work you have. And you know what? Let me ask you one more question. Are your techs more confident? They're more at ease knowing that you've made this move and you're there to help them?
Yeah, I believe so. The guys that I have are really qualified. We've got 3 master technicians. They've been around for quite some time, and it's really great when they look at you and they're like, "Hey, we got this. We've got this under control. We don't need you here."
And you're okay to hear that?
That's the best words that can come out of their mouth.
Glad to hear that. Perfect. So, brother Vinnie brings the marketing people side to the business. Not that you aren't a people person, Anthony, but Vinnie, your role is just encouraging the customer base, working in the community. Explain how you guys mesh so well together.
Well, just with that, Anthony's got the technical mind, and I've got more of the personal mind. So I'm very open, and my personality. I'm meeting people all the time. I'm shaking hands all the time. If I sit next to somebody at the bar, I say the bar, I don't even drink, but the bar at the restaurant that I attend all the time, I'll, get to know people there and pull them into the shop the same day. I've even left with their keys and brought the car to the shop. So it's my personality. I'm always meeting and greeting, and I am involved in so many different aspects of the community. I'm a sports enthusiast. That's where my passion is, like I mentioned, so I have friends in the kayak world. I have friends in the snowboarding world. I have friends in so many different worlds that I've gathered them. And, so that network has now reached out and multiplied and duplicated, and hence, our success in a short amount of time is a lot of it's from beating the pavement and getting out there and meeting people.
Tell me a few of the community things that you guys are the proudest of.
Well, I'll share. We have 5 programs. Our most proud program, I would say, is our veteran car giveaway. So every year we work on a car, whether it's a donated car or something we've purchased to bring up to a good operating vehicle, and we'll go through that bumper to bumper. And we work with our parts houses as well. And sometimes they'll donate parts, but we'll just make sure that we have a car that's reliable. Then we have partnered with the Veterans Resource Center of Nevada. They locate a veteran that's in need and kind of do all the vetting exactly and find out who deserves this vehicle, and then we give them that vehicle. So it's just a straight pass over. Here's a new car for you, and we typically try to find somebody to give them insurance for a year so they don't have that cost. And then we also let them know for a year that we will maintain that vehicle. So that's our vehicle giveaway, the Veterans Car Giveaway Program. Also very proud of our local rotating art display. Our waiting room is an art gallery. Currently, my art program manager has about 16 to 18 artists in there right now. And that's anything from ceramics to wood forged or metal forged steel and, paintings and photography. I mean, there's everything. We have stained glass tables in there, and it just makes my decor so beautiful, and it's constantly evolving. So that's never stagnant. We don't take any commissions from the sales of our art. It's strictly for the benefit of the artist and the exposure of the artist. Another program we have is our high school internship program, taking local high school students. Very proud of that because the youth and the children of the day are the ones that are going to be our technicians in the future. And we are losing our programs throughout our high schools to introduce these kids to a new career path, such as auto repair. And so we bring in local interns. That's a great program right now. We have a awesome student that's he's actually a homeschooled student, but passionate, driven. He's 16. He's got he's an old soul. So he's feels like you're talking to a 24-year-old or something whenever you're discussing things with this kid, and he loves the automotive field. So I could foresee him being a technician for us in the future. Absolutely. Another program we have is Reverse Your Carbon Footprint, and that's every oil service that we do through CoAuto. We've partnered with the Arbor Day Foundation, and we have a tree planted in their honor. So it's just kind of a neat program to share with the community and the world that we're trying to give back. And oil service relates to a tree planted in the earth, which is kind of neat.
Go figure.
Yeah.
Wow.
Right. And then our women's car care clinic is our last program.
I love them. There isn't one of these that you mentioned that another shop owner could do. Do all of them. Do absolutely every one of them.
Absolutely.
Do people from the community ever just come up to you and say, both of you, obviously, Vinnie, you're at restaurants all the time. But Anthony, by the way, Vinnie, I have a question. All the friends that you mentioned that you have in all these circles, are they customers or just friends?
They're clients. They're all, we like to call them clients.
Cool. All right. They're clients. Good.
Yes, absolutely.
That's good that extended network becomes clients in the business. People come up to you off the street and say, thanks for doing this for us?
Yes, we have. A lot of times, a lot of friends of mine, old friends in my Toastmasters group, and just people around, they're very thankful. I've gotten calls from other local shop owners that just say, hey, we really appreciate what you guys are doing, especially, after we give away a car to a veteran. Everybody's always reaching out saying, thank you. And can we help you? I've got a card. Do you want to donate this? So we do get a lot of shout out from the community.
Have you guys ever just reached out to a shop down the road that you notice could be struggling just because of the outward, view of that shop, and just picked up the phone or knocked on the door and said, hey, let's go have coffee?
No, I haven't, Carm. That's such a great idea, though, because I've got some friends that have been in the business, and one of the guys that everybody that I used to work for, I still have a great working relationship with. I'll holler at them, hey, let's go have some lunch, and we'll talk business. But, reaching out to some of the ones that are struggling sounds like a great idea. We
need to keep, there's the top operators in our industry. Every industry has top operators. It doesn't matter. And then there's other ones that are content or happy or are struggling, and they just don't know how to reach out. and touch someone, if you will. What's that, some of these AT&T's commercials or something? They just don't know how to do that. They've never attended division like you guys do. I'm really thinking that that's an important step that I think is necessary in our industry. I love to hear about your business. I encourage everyone to go back out and listen to episode Town Hall Academy 63 on partnerships, because there's a lot of partnerships in our industry, and you guys have figured out how to make it work. Culture in your business has got to be one of the number one strategies. What is the culture there?
The culture is alive. It's coming into the shop and just having a smile on your face. Our staff is amazing. They're a fantastic team. They work well together, and that helps, adapt our culture. And when you walk into CoAuto, you see murals painted on the walls. And our biggest mural on the inside is all the elements. So earth, wind, water, fire, space, painted throughout these characters on the walls. And we get compliments of this all the time, but it makes you feel good. That's our culture. You come in and it feels inviting. Our clients say it all the time. It feels like you walked into a doctor's office. And we use that analogy a lot because we are somewhat like doctors. And so when a client can come in with their high-end vehicle, whether it be a Tesla or Mercedes or whatever it is, and look through your windows and see these immaculate floors and, these beautiful paintings on the walls and inside the garage as well, then they're immediately at ease and just comfortable with the space and the people. And they trust you immediately because of the culture we've created, which is love and amazing.
I love that word. There's love. I'm so glad you brought that up. Didn't know you were going to say it. And is it funny to, explain that to other shop owners that big part of our culture is feel good, smile on your face, and we just have love? Do they look at you like, the heck's this guy smoking?
Yeah, who's this guy? But you introduce that to these shop owners, and I know a lot of shop owners as well, and I have great relationships with everybody I've used to work for, and kind of explain to them what we're doing, and they're kind of turned sideways, like, that's why would you do that?
Old school, old school.
Yeah, old school. Let's say baby boomers maybe have a little bit of a mindset or a belief system.
Well, that is. Wait a minute. Why do I have to give him an incentive to do what I already hired him to do?
Right. With the older generation, I think they're kind of stuck in their old beliefs, and we all have that. We have our belief systems, and whether it's true or not, it's true to us. So we believe things should be how they are and what they should be, and that's where I came in. Let me throw a wrench in your spokes, because this is not what you think it is. We can make this to be whatever we want it to be. We can give away cars. We can paint murals on the building. We can, do all these different programs that aren't typical of an auto repair shop. Why? Because we can. It's our business. And that's when Anthony and I would look at each other and go, should we do that? Well, why wouldn't we? Because we can. And so if you have an idea, that's what you're subject to. I mean, Anthony and I were talking about it today. You are what you think of. Your business is what you've created. And it has the potential to be anything you want it to be, but you have to think about it. You have to write things down. You have to create those thoughts that implement change or something new. If you want to be different, just be different. You have nothing stopping you but yourself. You're the only one in your way. You
guys must be my brothers from another mother, because what's so interesting here is I've always believed in the words "because we can." And I also am very strong on the love word inside of, institutions, if you will, call it businesses. And I used to get up in front of corporate people and stuff, and I talked about the love word, and they'd look at me weird, waiting for them to look at me weird. And then I'm saying, let me challenge your thinking that love is a verb. And that means that we can care for each other, the action of caring for each other. And then the lights go on to realize that that's the culture that we're attempting or trying or willing and wanting to build. Good stuff for you guys. So do you give your people a lot of freedom and autonomy?
Yeah, right now we've got, with our shop foreman and our manager, they called up a meeting this morning because some things aren't operating or flowing like they should be. And my foreman says, hey, I'm going to have an impromptu meeting, 5 minutes, and just talk to the guys. I'm like, okay, cool. And we give them the power to create what they need to create. So that way they have ownership in it.
You don't have to show up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the 5-year plan. You're in your 4th year, and you're actually now having a chance to watch it work.
Yes, yeah. And of course, you look at it and you get frustrated. You're like, I can do it so much better. How come you aren't fixing the cars fast enough? And all these other things. And you got to realize that nobody's ever going to be you, and that you just have to give them the tools necessary so that they can become their best selves while they make the mistakes that we've already made so they can learn from them as we did.
You can't be living in a mushroom cellar. You know what's going on, future and technology. Does any of that excite you, make you nervous? Are you making plans about maybe changing business models, et cetera?
Absolutely. Looking at the future is exciting and scary at the same time. Last year was the first time we had a Tesla come into our garage, and I had done some service, and I got re-enlightened with the potential of the market and the industry in the next few years. And I've looked at my brother here just recently and said, we're a general repair shop. We've got diagnostic equipment and programming for most of the makes and models, and it's very expensive. And so when you don't see enough of those, it costs you money just to have that equipment sitting there. So looking into the future, I'm looking around at my techs going, my techs may be specializing in 1 or 2 makes or becoming system specialists. So these are things that we're looking at in the future, as well as gearing up more for your hybrid and electrical repairs and just getting that hands-on experience to deal with what's coming up down the line. I even saw it was an ad for Waymo, a company that they do the autonomous vehicles. I'm like, maybe I'll go work for that company for a year and really get an idea of what's happening in the industry and bring that back to our shop. But there's definitely going to be some changes in the next 5 to 10 years, I expect.
Would you ever just go put up another branch and do a brand specialty, for example, Euro? Or would you say, hey, listen, we can build a big place and just put my Euro guys on all the Euro cars?
Sometimes I just want to just keep it small and leave it as a small operation and assist the industry in other ways, whether that's consulting or teaching or having my guys open up their own CoAutos and specializing in what they want to specialize in.
Love that partnership idea.
Yeah, whether it's a partnership or a franchise model, something in that realm. Not really sure yet.
Have you guys read the E-Myth?
Parts of it.
No.
Go back and read it. Anthony, reread it. Vinnie, you start reading it.
Always build your business like you plan on
selling it, and that whole scaling model has everything to do with the franchising model and stuff, and the decisions that you're going to be making today for that future strategy. You got to be thinking about what that plan is at all times. You guys got strong intuitions?
Oh, absolutely. I would say we're both very intuitive.
And do you let it guide a lot of the decisions that you're making, Vinnie?
Oh, certainly. Yeah.
And when you go against it, sometimes you say,
you learn a lesson. Yeah. It's usually an expensive one. It's one of that intuitive breaks down to when you're working on a car and even the tech says, I don't think we should do this. And then you go, well, God, that's money. We can make some money if we did. And then you sell that job and then it bites you in the butt and you should have listened to your gut. That gut is your intuition. So Anthony and I have made it very clear that even with the staff, if you have a gut feeling, if you feel that this is more trouble than it's worth, or whatever that gut feeling may be, listen to it because it's telling you something for a reason. And we've learned with every gut feeling that we don't listen to that we're paying for it and in dollars through mistakes. Whatever it may be, a client's unhappy with something, whatever the case may be. So we listen to our intuition.
What's the best piece of advice you've gotten over the years?
The best advice I've received would be to build your business, like you just said, I didn't know of the E-Myth being that, but to build your business without you as the main employee. So to keep replacing yourself throughout your business. And Anthony and I have done just that from the beginning. Just every time we find ourselves in a position, we find somebody to replace that position. And then we find a new position that needs to be handled. When that needs to be a new employee or a new staff member, we will then put them in place there until we are no longer needed. So the best advice for me was to build your business without you as the main provider.
Well, you got the E-Myth advice from someone. Very good. Anthony, how about you? Best advice you ever got?
Maybe just a lot of little things. When we had first opened up the business and we went to a small meeting held by Management Success, and just the advice of what your profit margins need to be on your parts. Yeah, just a lot of little things.
And those became these little Miniaha moments, and you took them all, made them a much bigger part of your business.
Yeah, well, it helped guide us in a business which we were completely new to, being business owners, and at least helped us become somewhat profitable when we first opened up our shop. Because everybody wants to open up a shop to save somebody some money. And then you realize that when you open up the shop to save somebody money, you're not doing yourself any justice, because this is a very expensive business to operate properly.
I don't think you guys would be where you are today. Just 4 years in it, almost reaching your plans without good systems and processes. Who's leading that in the company?
I would say that Anthony leads the systems and processes. He is that personality type. But we're now just becoming systematic. In our first 2 years, we weren't. We were, it was Anthony and I doing what we do best, fixing cars and getting them out the door, and building relationships. That's another key advice right there is if you're struggling in business, go build some relationships. But Anthony is the one that thrives on process, and he has now started a lot of new processes, and even our staff, even our new shop foreman is all about processes. So he's a mini Anthony, really, and he wants to make sure that all the proper processes are in place.
Are you writing them down, Anthony?
Oh yeah, we've been documenting and creating new processes. Vinnie says we didn't have processes for the first 2 years. We've always had some sort of process, whether that be our inspection process when you do a service, for instance. We call them 5,000 mile services and not oil changes. And for every 5,000 mile service, there's always a process of checking during the inspection process. And that's been something we've done from day one. So the processes and the procedures are just we're just doing more of them.
You're refining them. You're writing them down. You're really creating the quote unquote manual, right?
Yeah, exactly. And our next step really is, now that we're being freed up a little more time, is to start doing those processes via video. So we can have a video process of, this is how you do a service. This is how you do a brake inspection. This is what we expect in these different areas. They can be short, quick, to the point, and then your new staff and your current staff can review those yearly.
I've heard a lot about that. You guys doing digital inspections yet?
Absolutely.
For years.
Years. What are you using?
We first started with RO Touch. And that was in the early days of RO Touch. We went to Bolt On. And from Bolt On, we went to Auto Vitals, then Bolt On. Now we're using Shopware.
Really big, important change in your business to have done. I mean, you've been using it for years, but you probably look back like so many guys and says, how did we do business without it?
Oh, absolutely. Carm, I haven't printed a repair order in 5 months.
Those prints, it costs a lot of money to print too. So I mean, there's a big save in dollars.
The accounting side of Vinnie just came up. So okay, that's a perfect lead into my next question. How do you measure success? Is it profit, car count, cash flow, ARO? What's your big numbers? I mean, don't tell me what your numbers are. It doesn't matter to me. But what are the ones you watch every day?
Our most important is our ARO. So we watch the ARO pretty heavily. And then also you have to have good parts margin. So it doesn't matter what your ARO is if your parts and labor margins aren't where they should be. So those are our 3 KPIs, I would say. Anthony might have a different take on that, but that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at our average repair order and our profit on our parts and our labor. Those are 3 KPIs for me. How about you, Anthony?
Agree, Anthony?
Yep, I agree. Those are things that we're looking at. And of course, build hours, because that's the one thing we could not resell. At the end of the day, if you didn't sell 8 hours of labor for that tech that was there for 8 hours, you can't resell it. So the labor build is really important.
Any gross margin hack on parts margins that you could share?
Well, in our shop management system, I suggest just using your shop management system and setting up the matrix. All shop management systems really have some sort of matrix.
Do you use a different matrix depending on the seasonality?
No. Our particular matrix is built into our shop management system, and we set in what we want to reach at the end of the day as far as a gross profit, and it does the calculations for us.
Share with your people what it takes to run the business, the cost of doing business. Do they ever see the financials?
We haven't opened up the books completely, but we do share with them. We just started a performance-based pay program, and we shared with them, this is what we're paying for your employee insurance, for your workers' compensation, so that way they're aware that dollar amount we pay them per hour isn't that we actually pay them more than what they actually think that they make. And then, I share with them, I just had an update for a scan for our micropod. It was $2,800, so I could use it the way we've been using it for the last year. I'm like, hey guys, this is why I've been telling you to use this tool every time you get a chance, because now it's going to cost us $2,900 to continue using this the way that it is. So I share with these guys as much as we can, and I've considered doing more of an open book into the operations. And I've shared with the guys, hey, if you ever want to go open up your own shop, I will teach you how to do it. You come and, I'll open this up and we can show you everything.
Amazing idea. $2,800, guys. We need we need 15 cars just to break even on that $2,800. So the clock starts now. Maybe it's such a great way to involve people to give them an idea of what it really takes to earn that $2,800.
Yeah, we do have 2 guys on our team that want to open their own shop, and they've kind of seen what it's taken Anthony and I, and they've kind of stepped back a little bit and in hopes of learning some more, because there's a lot more to it than they expected.
So you guys have been asked to go up and speak at 2 different conferences. You're both getting on a plane. You're going, you land in the place, but you're only out there to answer one question for the attendees, and that is, share one idea on how to make more money in a shop.
I'm going to go back with what I've been preaching, is build relationships. If you want to make more money in your shop, you have to have people coming in. People are going to come in, they have to know you, or they have to love you, or they have to at least heard through the grapevine good things. And in order to have those good things occur, you've got to do good work, but it all starts with building relationships.
Do they have to trust you?
Absolutely. And how other to trust you than to know you? And, all it takes sometimes is, oh, hey, what do you do? And you talk with somebody for a moment, and you know what? That's a loaded question, because they're going to ask, oh, I do this. What do you do? And you're like, oh, I'm auto mechanic. And by now you've created a relationship with them. It's very basic, but they know you. And now they know a mechanic.
Dale Carnegie, I hear it. Anthony, how about you? What would be your idea to share about making greater profits in a shop? Processes,
procedures, and becoming efficient. You can have a team if they're at 50% efficiency, let's assume that you've got the work, that I'm coming into a garage that's already operating. Most of the time that shop's going to be inefficient. And is that a process? What's happening in the garage, what's happening with the culture. So, becoming efficient inside the garage will definitely make you more successful.
Vinnie, I'm so impressed about the relationship piece. It is a strong part of your overall strategy in the company. You meet someone, shake their hand. I believe, Vinnie, you've never met a stranger, okay? So here you are. You're in the bar. You're in the restaurant, and you go up to the bar. Hey, let me buy you a drink. No, that's okay. I'll take a Coke. And all that starts happening, and they come in the shop. Do you have any way to track if they come back a second time?
Absolutely. And that's through our management system. So we've been tracking, no matter what management system we've had, we track where we got these clients from. And it's really important. That's a very important piece of your marketing. If you don't know who's coming in or who's returning, then how do you market to bring in new clients? So yes, we do track that.
Good. You guys do phone quotes?
No.
That was fun. It was a good laugh, by the way, Vinnie. It was great. And so, Anthony, why don't you do phone quotes?
We ended up, you're misleading the client when you give them a quote over the phone, in my opinion. And through the last couple of years of listening to different podcasts, listening to different business owners, we had made that decision to not give quotes over the phone. And one of our last 1-star reviews was because we wouldn't give the guy a quote over the phone. But then the funny thing is that the same day he reviewed the dealership, which he brought the car to, and he says, I got a verbal quote and a written quote, and it cost me more money than that they had quoted.
It's dangerous, right, Vinnie?
It is. And you've got to understand that people want to hear a number. When they hear that number, well, they're stuck to it. And now they brought their car in and, hey, look, you didn't tell me your car was from the West Coast or East Coast. I didn't know it was going to have all this rust. So many variables. And that's the problem with giving quotes over the phone is until you've seen the vehicle, you have no idea what you're dealing with. And once that vehicle comes in and you've done an analysis on it, that's a good time to give a quote. And it's been difficult. And it's kind of, it's been one of those trying things to determine how you relate to the client in order to still get them in the door without giving them a quote over the phone. It's become much, much more fluid for us now that we've practiced it a bit, and I love it. Want to go back.
I love what you just said. It became more fluid for us when we practiced, meaning you were taking the person off the price thing and attempting to get them in. What's that close ratio?
I'm not on the phone as much anymore, so I'm letting the staff handle that. So I don't know the ratio, but I do know that they're getting better at it. I'm great. I'll pat myself on the back real quick. I can pull a client in, but it's really hard for our staff and our team to kind of grab that concept. And they're starting to pull in more and more of those clients. And what I have them do is just share what makes us different. Hey, or check us out online. So, you want a quote over the phone? Sorry, unfortunately, I would need to see that vehicle first, but have you checked us out online? Have you read some of our reviews? Or, you change the subject in order just to get them in the door and build that relationship. Once again, you build it on the phone. And then you don't need to give them a quote. By the end, they just want to do business with you, regardless of what your quote's going to be.
Did you ever do any role play with your people in that regard?
Yeah, and we don't do it enough. But just yesterday, Anthony and I were role playing in front of the crew, looking like goofballs, but that's just it. You just have to get used to that. And Anthony, there was a little, we were talking about sending in an estimate prior to, okay, let me back up. Sending an estimate for their primary concern before we prepare the estimate for all the other health report, for the rest of the health report. So initially, we were always sending everything first, like at one time, but we wanted to get things in progress sooner. So we were doing a little role play on what would it sound like if we were trying to just sell the primary concern and informing the client that we might be calling them back once we've completed the health report estimate. Because it can take some time to do that and complete health report estimate, and we need an approval now. So we were doing some role play there, and I think it was effective. I think our staff, understood what we were trying to get across, and then through role playing, they can see it happen and gain ideas.
Good for you. Love these ideas. I only have about 50 more questions. I can't believe where the time went. It's been an incredible and great interview. I want to mention to the audience that you guys were the Facility of the Year from Vision 2018 this year. Congratulations on that. What a heck of an honor.
Thank you. We were honored.
I was there in the audience when you got that. That's when I met you guys. Great honor. I've got one more question for each of you. Same question for both, and I want you to answer this. I've always wanted
to do something great in my life. And this business is giving me the opportunity to do that as I'm learning to become a business owner. Once I can set this business into the hands of our teammates, then I can go on and continue with some of my dreams.
Great answer. Thanks. How about you, Vinnie?
All right. Well, I've always wanted to create something for myself and my family that allows me to have more freedom. And through that, I've realized that what I really wanted is to create something that helps people. Now, vehicles are people's most important asset. I mean, really, people live through their vehicles. If you don't have transportation, then you don't have a means to go to work. You don't have a means to provide for your family. So I've always wanted to create something which we have is just love people through their cars. And we've created that.
Brothers Vinnie and Anthony Lucido from CoAuto, Reno, Nevada. Thanks for being on the podcast.
Thank you.
Thanks, Car.
Hey, thanks, Vinnie and Anthony Lucido, for sharing CoAuto community-conscious car care to the world. Your culture and management is a foundation for other shop owners to aspire to. Also, nice job of surrounding yourselves with great talent that can really ease the burden of running the shop top to bottom. Find the key talking points and additional bio information on Vinnie and Anthony Lucido at remarkableresults.biz/E348. Hey, tell a friend about the Remarkable Results Radio Podcast, a perfect summit for the forever student. Give me a ping or email me, carm@remarkableresults.biz. We'll talk soon.
Thanks for being on board to listen and learn from the premier automotive aftermarket podcast. Until next time.